What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto. We are talking about Bitcoin today. Oh, ho, ho, yes we are, man. Yes we are. I would have loved to weigh in on the crazy shenanigans, man. I was watching it as it was happening earlier today, and I'm sure everybody's up to date and caught up with the whole debacle that went on with the SEC getting hacked, getting what was the word that they used? Compromised. They were compromised. But the ETFs looked like they were getting approved. I felt this like punch in my gut, right? Like oh, my pride. I've been putting my name out there talking about how I very much don't believe that the ETFs are going to get approved. And then I even on my Discord, I was like, I'm in disbelief, man. I joked. I was like, unless the SEC got me and M-Hat were joking, man. Maybe he was serious, but I was joking, man. And then it happened. I was like, this was supposed to be a joke. Like they actually got hacked. I'm not going to go too much into that because this is more TA, right? And I do want to say on that note, if I'm wrong about the ETFs getting denied, which I very much don't think I will be. I do think they're going to get denied. I was, again, like I said, I was in denial, man. It didn't make sense to me. I was actually very scared, man. If the ETFs got approved right now, that would terrify me for the rest of this year. It would not be good, man. I was starting to think like, man, is the bull run not going to happen? Like, are all these gains that I was expecting, like what's going to happen? Like, what am I going to do with myself? Everybody's going to be so sad. Like, you guys, you really don't understand, man. Like, look at what happened with gold whenever its ETF got approved, right? The first U.S. Backed ETF got approved. We were stagnant. We were down and stagnant for 9 months afterwards, okay? And then it resumed going upwards. Sure, gold is different. It was in a whole different trend than Bitcoin is, right? It has different dynamics than Bitcoin does in itself, than crypto does in itself. Look at any time that we've had any institutional vehicle been approved and available for the public to use, to access. The ProShares futures ETFs, whenever Bitcoin futures came out, any time that anything like that's happened, it's been near the top, if not the absolute top of the markets. If we saw the Bitcoin ETFs getting approved, as much as everybody wants to believe that it's a good thing, it would suck, man. It would really, beyond my pride, I felt this like gut-wrenching feeling because I was like, damn, man, like this is not, everybody thinks it's going to be good. And maybe it's good in the long term, maybe it's not. Again, I don't think we need these ETFs, man. I think that with or without them, Bitcoin is going to go to millions of dollars. We don't need any ETFs, man. We've done just fine without them. We don't need them. Institutional money can get involved without them. They're lying to you. It's all, in my opinion, it's all a ploy to make them seem like the heroes, the good guys that bring stability and regulation to crypto. Like we need that, man. Like that's what we like. Whatever. People pretend like that's what we need, that's what we want. We don't need it, man. They need us. They need Bitcoin. And they want to come in and act like they're the good guys, man. That's how manipulators do it, man. That's literally how they do it. They convince you that you need them when you don't need them. You're the special thing all along, Bitcoin. We don't need these ETFs, man, but whatever. Enough of my own philosophy. We'll never know if that's right or wrong. I believe it to be right in my head, but what I very much believe to be right also is that if the ETFs were to get approved, you guys, it's not going to be good. It really, I know a lot of people are excited, but go back and look at what happened when the Bitcoin ProShares ETFs got approved. Whenever back at like near the top of the last cycle. Look at what happened whenever the CBOE, CME futures got approved and listed. That was literally at the top of the cycle before. You think that having another institutional vehicle coming into play is not going to produce similar results? Like, man, look at what happened with, go back and look at anything, man. Gold, uranium, whatever, I don't know, whatever has ETFs available. Test and see. When the first United States ETFs came out for these things, tell me if it didn't stagger the price. If it maybe it promoted growth afterwards, maybe it didn't. Who knows? I would think that all these things would grow even without them, right? It staggers the price. It staggers the price. They want you to believe that you need them. But man, I'm getting off on a whole tangent. What I'm really trying to say is I'm a TA guy. I'm not a media guy. So if I'm wrong about the media, I'm still going to be right about the TA, man. Approval or denial, it's going to be a sell the news event. There we go. It's not going to be good for the price. Short term, long term, however you want to look at it, I think in the very immediate term, it's not going to be good for the price. It's going to stagger things and send things down. So whether it gets approved or denied, it's not going to be good for the price. But at least if it gets denied, we have hopes of recovery. Where if it gets approved, man, I think it's going to take longer to recover, honestly. I do think the Bitcoin ETFs will get approved, just not now. Toward the end of the cycle, when it makes sense. Toward the end of the cycle. I know a lot of people are like, it makes sense now. I had someone, and I'm not trying to poke fun here, but someone told me that Congress told Gary Gensler that he needed to approve the ETFs immediately. It's like, well, why is he pushing it to the very last day of where it's required to be approved or denied? Why? Where's the sense of like immediacy that he needs, like the sense of urgency that they need to be approved? I don't feel it. I feel the sense of urgency in the people. Everybody is saying it's a 90% chance that it's going to get approved, but that's just because they hear someone else say 90% chance, someone else. Like all the experts, all the financial advisors in America, not all of them, but over 60% of them say that it's not going to get approved. So where's this 90% number coming from? Like I really don't understand. But bro, sister, people, let's get into the TA. I didn't mean to talk about the ETFs that much. And again, if I'm wrong about the ETFs, which I don't think I'll be, but if I am, my calls on the media might be wrong, but my calls on the TA will not be wrong. That much I'm certain of. And I'm more certain of that than the ETFs, but I'm still pretty certain that the ETFs are going to get denied. I very much am. I'm not going to weigh in too much about what I think happened with the hack, like any of that stuff. You guys have heard everybody's theories, whatever. It was some crazy, entertaining stuff that happened. Man, I love crypto. I love that this kind of stuff happens. Like it's somebody hacked it. They probably went long. They sent that. They hacked the SEC, the X account. They went long. I said I wasn't going to weigh in, but I'm weighing in. They went long. They made the post. Price pumped. They took their profits and then they got out. Man, like. That's probably what happened, man. Some person with either a good sense of humor or a good sense of money making, man. They did right by themselves. Like, do I even from the low to high on this fib? Do I even count today's price action? I don't know. Like, is that even? I don't know. I would think so. I'm sure the bots and like the trading algorithms probably take that into play. Look at this, man. All the way back up at this previous high here, you found resistance right there, just below 48K. A pretty expectable level, though. I definitely didn't expect that we'd get there. Crazy, man. If we were to see this thing pull back to its 382, which I think that we very well could, that would be all the way down at $31,000. And just statistically speaking, to me, that kind of would make sense. That would make sense. Now, the thing is it also would make sense from this low to high to pull back to, maybe this 382, maybe this 618. And that's around 32,000 to 37.3 thousand. Now, again, back to like what's expected, what the normal kind of thing is with fibs, is whenever you see moves like this, when you pull back to your 236, you can find support there. That's at about 36.7K. You can find support there. But it's very uncommon. It's like very, very uncommon. And you might find support there for a time, but oftentimes you do go through that. Before you like find your low and continue higher, it's very uncommon to see this. It's more common, and it's fairly common to go to your 382 and then find support. That's a lot more common, especially in strong moves, which I think we're in right now. It's also common to go all the way to your 618, 69 area, but I think it's safe to say that that's not going to happen. I think too many people would want to buy if it broke this line, let alone if it broke this line, let alone, I don't think that's going to happen. And the only reason that I'm somewhat considering that the most kind of common outcome, in my opinion, would be this look right here is not going to happen is because I think a lot of people have their eyes on this level for if it drops. I think a lot of people have their eyes on higher levels. Maybe after today's stuff, they're all like seeing like, oh, the news came out and we kind of sold, we pumped initially, but then we sold off a little bit. Maybe it will be a sell the news event. I feel like that's becoming more of an accepted narrative right now. So maybe more people are looking down at this area. Again, that's kind of the reason why I'm not so certain that we're going to see about $31,000 for an area to bounce off of. I think that we could stand to front run it a little bit. This green line here, the 123 moving average, might move up the longer we stay up here, and we might find support at like 32,000. Someone, I forget who it was, but someone said either on the Discord or on the YouTube channel or YouTube comments, I think it was on the Discord, whoever you were, I'm sorry, I'm not giving you the credit you deserve, but someone was saying 32,000. I think it was Lucky Spirit. I think it was you, but maybe I'm wrong. But 32,000 is a pretty decent area to find support, right? Just above that 382, front running a common area where people would expect, kind of finding support on a previous area of resistance. It would make sense to me finding support on a previous area of support. There's a lot of significance as far as price action goes down here at these levels, right? And that's the one thing that like makes me think if we were to go that low that it would hold, but also that there's a lot of attention on it. And generally speaking, when there's a lot of attention, you do one of two things. You either don't meet it or you blast through it. And I don't see a scenario where we're going to blast through it personally. It could happen. It could happen where we go slightly below it, we fake people out, and then we move up. That's possible, but I'm kind of under the impression that we're going to see support somewhere in that. I'd like to change it to about 32,000 to 36,000. Somewhere in there. The reason I'm changing it day by day, if you've been paying attention to my calls, is because day by day we're getting slightly higher prices. So with that, these numbers move up, right? They move up a little bit, or they move down a little. Well, I guess they move up a little bit. But I don't know. I would say 32,000 to 36,000. All in all that to say is where I think Bitcoin could find its support. Again, 36,700 is the 236. It's very uncommon for anything to bounce off its 236 and continue higher, but it does happen. It's not common, but it does happen. So we could find support there. We found support in this area before, right? If we treat this like we are now, right? We found support right here on a closing basis. We found resistance right here on an opening closing basis. We're finding resistance in this area now. Could we come back down and find support just like we were in this little price range here? It's possible. If we take the more relative fib here from low to high, the 382 is right down there. And it's very common to just prod a little bit below your 382. And you might hear that. You might be like, C-Zar, you're contradicting yourself. You were just talking about this 382 not being hit. Why are you saying this one it'll go a little bit through? Well, because again, it is very common to go just a little bit through your 382. The reason why, again, I don't think that we're going to go a little bit through this 382 down here is I think a lot of people have their eyes on that level. I think a lot of people are looking at that 31 to 28K level for support. So all this is speculation to say, man. All this is speculation to say. I just wanted to make another Bitcoin video, in commemoration of the craziness that happened today. I'm not going to pull up the Twitter post. You guys have all seen it already. You've probably heard everybody talk about it. I wish I made a live stream and was one of the first people to talk about it. I was watching it happen, but I was unavailable. Couldn't do it. Here I am at this time of day when I am available, and of course it's well past the time of first response, so whatever. What I'm trying to say is, beyond all the other TA stuff, what we have again still is this overbought zone in the RSI. We've been in it for 11 weeks now. I'm going to go through really quickly. I know I've done this before, but really quickly. 11 weeks here, definitely less than 11 weeks, definitely less than 11 weeks. Here was 18 weeks, but this was post-halving, okay? Less than 11. Right here, we could arguably say that we were in the overbought zone for 10 weeks, right? You kind of bounced off it, so I would count that maybe 10 weeks there. In, out, nothing more than what we've seen now, right? Maybe here, same kind of idea. Here you were in it for 10 weeks. All of these were definitely less than 10 weeks. Maybe not this one. That one there was 10 weeks as well. We're in 11 weeks right now. If you go back in time and you try to find any kind of, and this is on Coinbase, but if you go to the all-time history index, if you go back and you try to find any instance where we exceeded 11 weeks above the RSI, there were 2 times. We hit 18 weeks, 2 times where we are in the overbought zone for 18 weeks. And that happened both times after the halving, post-halving, toward the end of the bull market. Not in the beginning, not before the halving, which is exactly why, again, I'm thinking that we are overdue for a pullback. We really are. It's just how it is, man. We've moved up all this way without being checked at all. We moved up a lot consistently, and then we've been slowing down. We had our little fake out. We definitely had a fake out today. It was a fake out yesterday, man, but with this little extra oomph that we had today, clearing out all the shorts, clearing out some longs too, or maybe adding to the longs, then those longs get cleared out as we're moving down. I think it's just a matter of time before we move down. So again, all that to say, man, I do think Bitcoin's moving down. I think we'll see the price down anywhere from, I'm going to go with Lucky Spirit, what he said too, man, but between about 32K to 36.6. At least I think it was Lucky Spirit that said this. 32K is what he said. I think 32 to 36K is probably where we're going. And I do think the ETFs are going to get denied. And if I'm wrong on that, I'm wrong on that. But I'm sticking with it. It's what I truly believe. I don't think that it would be good. Man, if the ETFs get approved, you better hope they don't get approved. Like everybody is very misled in thinking that we need the ETFs. That's my personal opinion. But without any more of that, take care. Have a good day, a good night. Bye-bye. I'll see you on the next one. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. Forgot to say that. Gotta shield myself a little bit there, man. Hit that like button 3 times, because if you hit it twice, you'll like and then you'll unlike it. So hit it 3 times. Take care. Bye-bye.